welcome everyone to season 9, episode 21 of the Focus TV. We have Octavia Wire here tonight, Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tarpe Jr. We got a lot to get through. As compressed as the WNBA offseason was, that means the preseason is just as compressed. We got preseason action later this week. But before we get started, tonight, got a couple clips from Mystics training camp. I think it was technically day 3. Also, get over to the channel. Ran out attended media day. Share some thoughts on that in just a bit. Also, again, they got 2 preseason games before stuff goes live officially next Friday. I think they start off on the road, and then their home opener is next Sunday. So, looking forward to all of that. But here's just some post practice sound from Sonia Citron and Kiki Arias.
On draft day, we saw Washington dip back into the Notre Dame pool and take Cassandra. Was that something you were even remotely thinking about draft night?
Yes and no. I mean, I wasn't sure exactly who we were going to get, but I'm very, very excited and happy that we got Cass. She's just an amazing person. She's an amazing player, and she has so much potential with her length, her versatility, her ability to play both sides of the ball. So I'm really excited for her.
And then lastly, what do you think? What was it playing at Notre Dame? Do you feel like that helped you your rookie year? We saw a little bit more of your game and how it might be for Cass as well.
I mean, I think at Notre Dame, I think it's similar. What Cass went through, what I went through, is just having to play multiple roles. And I think that just helps you at this level because you're really ready for anything. So wherever we put Cass, whether it's a 3, 4, 2, whatever it is, she's going to be ready for it, just like I feel like I was.
You talked about running the floor being such a strength of yours. I think yesterday at Media Day, Georgia mentioned just a couple passes, a couple times she hit the wall trying to find you. What's that been like, you guys finding that chemistry with you running the floor?
Yeah, I think it's been great. Just getting these reps and getting these, mistakes out now so that once the games start, we're able to be connected. But we had 2 weeks before training camp where we were here, so George and I were just working on 2-man actions just to kind of speed that chemistry and make it come a little bit faster. But it's been great, and this is what training camp is for, is to get all these mistakes out and to fine-tune everything before season starts.
All right, Ray, you mentioned, I attended media day. Want to give you a chance to share any thoughts you had after, taking in media day that was uber efficient and went kind of quick.
Yeah, the first thing that sticks out to me about this team is seems like they really like each other. And that as a cliche or insignificant as that may sound, that helps out a lot. They're kind of a team they're a team in transition and kind of rebuilding. So, when you're working with people you like being around, when things get tough, you can kind of lean on that. And it's better for camaraderie and all that type of stuff. So yeah, man, that's just always positive. Just to see a group of women that feel like they genuinely like being around each other and are close knit. Doing something like going through the grind of a WNBA season, that can't be undervalued. But another thing is Coach Johnson. He's harping on development. So that's definitely refreshing to hear because they're a super young team. So they're going to have to. It's going to be a lot of things that a lot of players don't know. Going to have to adjust to. And that learning curve from college to the W, it ain't no joke. But at the same time, he did stress that they also want to compete. They're not looking to, just take their lumps and have whatever happens. They want to make some noise, man. He's made that very clear. And I think with this group, they got a good chance to do that. They had 2 outstanding rookies last season. So, they got a year of experience under their belt and they're going to come back sharper. Adding Georgia to the fold, just seeing her in training camp. And she emphatically stated on media day that she's been on go for a while. So I know she's going to be ready to hit the ground running. I'm just excited, man, just to see what they can do, how they mesh, how they gel. That point guard position was a struggle at times last season. Just just to be frank. But having that be steady with the weapons they have and the weapons they added, it might be fun. Might be fun in Southeast this year. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And like I said, man, they just a fun team with a good vibe, and they look like they're ready to put in the work. So yeah, man, excited for Mystics basketball this year.
Yeah, I'm right with you. And then you mentioned the two rookies last year. Like we saw, obviously Georgia didn't play, but Kiki, Sonia, Lucy, we saw everyone like come up, everyone grow throughout last season. So that's one thing, credit to the coaching staff for that and see if they can replicate it. While saying that, I'm not expecting anybody to match what Kiki or Sonya did. You don't have to do that. I think that's the luxury for this class. There's not pressure to necessarily come out the gate. And no one has to be a savior. Just come in and contribute, honestly. Everyone find a way to contribute. Coach Johnson today was talking about Cassandra Prosper and Little Page Bubs, just talking about their activity and their ability to just kind of always make a play. So it's like he's talked about their youth. I'm just excited. I'm right with you just to see. Sometimes youth is fun. Like they just don't know any better. Go make a mess of things. Like just go out there and ruin people's evenings. But yeah, I'm right with you. Looking forward to it. I'm gonna switch gears. It's that time of year where Portsmouth just passed. So feeling for Cardell, and I share that. Also, be on the lookout for the newest Finest Mag issue. So head over to finestmag.com this week so you guys don't miss that. As for Portsmouth, let me get this up on the screen and we'll get to the list of standouts. Uh, Where are we going to start at? We'll start with this year's field. Featured a strong mix of guards who control tempo, wings who flash two-way upside, and bigs who embrace defined roles, giving scouts a clear look at who can carve out a niche at the next level. First player we have is Colin Boswell from Illinois, 6'2", 215-pound point guard. His NBA role, most likely a two-way guard. Boswell stood out as one of the more physically imposing guards in attendance, consistently leveraging his strength to get downhill and draw contact. He showed poise operating in pick and roll situations, probing defenses patiently while keeping his dribble alive and reading help defenders. A reliable facilitator, Boswell stacked multiple double digit assist performances, highlighting his ability to control pace and create for others. Defensively, he brought toughness at the point of attack and awareness off the ball, making him a dependable two-way presence. Namari Burnett out of Michigan, 6'5", 195-pound guard, NBA role 3 and D, connector guard. Burnett embraced the complementary role and thrived in it, spacing the floor and making timely plays without needing high usage. He knocked down perimeter shots with confidence and showed discipline defensively, using his left to contest and disrupt. Offensively, he kept the ball moving and made smart reads within the flow, projecting as a low maintenance guard who can fit alongside primary creators. Trey Carroll out of Xavier, 6'8", 235-pound forward, NBA role is stretch forward. Carroll's combination of size and shooting translated cleanly as he consistently spaced the floor and forced defenses to respect his range. Beyond shooting, he flashed a well-rounded offensive game, making smart reads, operating in the post when mismatched, and holding his own defensively across multiple positions. His versatility and feel give him a clear pathway as a rotational forward. Melvin Council Jr. out of Kansas, 6'4", 180-pound point guard. Defensive minded guard would be his NBA role. The tournament MVP. Council controlled games with his pace and defensive intensity. He excelled in pick and roll situations, mixing in mid range scoring, and he was armed with a reliable floater. His ability to apply full court pressure and disrupt opposing guards set the tone defensively, while his decision making with the ball kept offenses organized. Council's two-way impact was as steady as it was effective. Jaden Henley out of Grand Canyon, 6'7", 210-pound forward slash guard, is a two-way wings NBA role. In all tournament selection, Henley showcased the type of versatility teams covered on the wing. He defended multiple positions with energy and discipline while offensively showing the ability to contribute without forcing shots. His blend of size, skill, and defensive flexibility makes him an intriguing developmental wing. To buy the wow, This one was crazy. Cardell sent me a picture during that weekend. The kid, his chest was literally near the top of the square catching a lob. Just extremely bouncy. 6'8", 215 pound forward, NBA role, athletic two-way forward. Lawal brought elite explosiveness, drawing comparisons athletically to Shaden Sharp in terms of vertical pop. He impacted the game as a defender and transition threat, blocking shots and finishing above the rim with authority, while his perimeter shooting remains a work in progress. His flashes in the mid-range and effectiveness as a role man point to a high upside role player with defensive versatility. Isaiah Nelson out of South Florida, 6'10", 218 pound forward. Uh, He's going to be looked at as a defensive anchor slash rim running big. Nelson's motor and athleticism stood out immediately as he ran the floor like a guard and finished everything around the rim. A high level lob threat and pick and roll finisher. He brought consistent energy while protecting the rim and switching defensively. His length, instincts, and willingness to do the dirty work gave him a strong foundation as a modern defensive big. Mark Reno out of Miami, 6'9", 238 pound forward. NBA role, skilled interior scorer and secondary playmaker. Reno's offensive polish was evident, operating as a technician in the post while also stretching defenses with mid-range touch and occasional three-point shooting. He showed impressive agility off the bounce, using a quick first step to create scoring opportunities. His ability to handle a pass in the half court added another layer, making him a versatile offensive piece with rebounding value. Trey Kaufman Wren out of Purdue, 6'9", 240 pound forward. A lot of forwards here. Skilled interior scorer, system big. Kaufman Wren thrived as an interior hub, using strength of footwork to establish deep position and finish efficiently. He played within structure, setting solid screens, making quick reads, and maintaining strong positioning defensively. While he lacks elite vertical athleticism, his field toughness and processing speed make him an ideal fit in system-based offenses. Anthony Roy out of Oklahoma State, 6'5", 205 pound guard, uh, NBA role, really simple. Professional scorer. Roy delivered one of the most efficient scoring outings, combining perimeter shooting with aggressive drives and a perfect showing at the free throw line. He demonstrated a polished scoring arsenal, generating offense without forcing attempts. When engaged defensively, his size allowed him to hold his own. His calling card will be his ability to score efficiently in a variety of ways. AJ Storr of Old Miss, 6'5", 205 pound guard, a shot creating wing. It's his role. The next level. Storr's ability to create his own shot remains his biggest selling point. He used strength and footwork to generate looks from all three levels, operating comfortably in isolation and against mismatches. While his efficiency was solid, his willingness to play within the flow stood out. Defensively, he showed an improved engagement and physicality. Peter Suter out of Miami of Ohio. 6'5", 215 pound guard, a two-way slashing wing. Suter turned in one of the most complete performances, attacking downhill, drawing fouls, and scoring at all three levels. He showed comfort both on and off the ball, thriving in spot up, movement, and off the dribble situations. His physicality and defensive competitiveness added to his appeal as a well-rounded wing prospect. Seth Trimble out of North Carolina, 6'3", 195 pound guard, dynamic combo guard. Trimble's athleticism and versatility popped as he impacted the game as a scorer, playmaker, and defender. He operated effectively in pick and roll sets, made smart reads, and defended multiple positions. His ability to contribute across the board, combined with strong basketball IQ, positions him as a dynamic backcourt option. Ernest Uday Jr. out of Miami, 6'11", 266 pounds center, a physical interior big. This kid, he could really move, and it didn't look like he was carrying 266. He provided a strong interior presence, using his size and strength to rebound and finish through contact. He ran the floor well for his size and played with consistent energy. Defensively, he showed sound positioning and effort, projecting as a reliable paint presence who embraces physicality. Trey White out of Kansas, 6'7", 215 pound wing, and his NBA role being a versatile scoring wing. White showcased a polished offensive game, scoring from all three levels, while also displaying a strong vision and passing ability. His ball handling and feel allowed him to create for himself and others, while his athleticism added another dimension. A well rounded wing with offensive versatility, White fits the mold of a modern day scoring forward. Overall, Portsmouth once again highlighted the importance of role clarity and translatable skills. Whether it was Boswell's command, Council's defensive tone setting, or Nelson's energy in the paint, this group proved that impactful NBA contributors often separate themselves not just through talent, but through how well they understand and execute their role. So we'll move from possible NBA players looking to make homes in the league. And it's great that these a bunch of these guys already know how to play and star in a role because they could be helping some of these teams that kind of lacking already as we have started the playoffs. So Octavia, we'll start with you, and then Ray. Let me get this off the screen for a second. Last week, the first round was just about to begin. Was playing time last week when we had this show. This week, the first round has begun. So Octavia, you want to hear where you are as the first round has now begun in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that first of all, the games have been pretty exciting. Most of them, not all of them, obviously. We've had, some blowouts. I think probably one of the biggest things that came out of the weekend was the injury to Kevin Durant. I don't think a lot of people were expecting him not to play in that game. And, a lot of people are pretty much counting the Lakers out with no Luka and no Austin Reeves and a 41-year-old, I think he's 40, he'll be 41 in December, LeBron James playing. But who knew Luke Kennard? I mean, we've seen Luke Kennard shoot well a while ago, but it was interesting to see him play that well and be the leading scorer for them in a game where, obviously it's going to be tough for LeBron to carry them by himself. So it was nice to see them get some help. But definitely looking forward to the game tonight. I think last I heard, Kevin Durant was a game time decision, but I think they were leaning more to him playing. So interested to see how that really works out. How now we got, as full strength as we can, knowing that of course Luka and Austin Reeves, I believe, aren't even slated to play in this series. So definitely interested to see how Kevin Durant comes out. Just seeing him and LeBron play against each other is always a treat. So definitely looking forward to that. Nuggets and Timberwolves, I think we already thought that was going to be a good series, and it's already shaping up to be that, knowing that they're already split. Just as well as Jokic has been playing. But I mean, the Timberwolves came back from a 19-point deficit last night. They ain't got no quit in them. And I mean, this is probably one of the better series or couple of games that you string together that we've seen Rudy Gobert play in a while. We know he has it in it with his defensive caliber. But he definitely was trying to make a point last night and actually go down there and bang with Jokic. And you see Jokic, I mean, I know sometimes he gets a little upset, but you saw him get a little bit out of character, him and Anthony Edwards fighting over the ball. But it shows how many times these teams have played each other. I'm sure they are sick and tired of each other at this point. So I think that this series is going to shape up to be one of the better ones. I think maybe the Nuggets might hate that they lost that game because that means that's another game that they're going to have to put on their bodies in order to come out of the series with a win, knowing that the team that they more than likely will have to play will be the Spurs, and the Spurs were just, I mean, I don't even have words. Victor Wembanyama in his playoff debut, I think he got 35 points. I think they said the only thing that you could really nitpick at him in that game was I think he had 5 rebounds. But yeah, that's not going to last long. And there were so many other great points that he had in that game that, okay, he can have an off night. Obviously, after now winning the Defensive Player of the Year as the first unanimous player, I'm sure he's going into this game, even though I believe the game has started. Yeah, and they're actually down 22-13 right now to Portland. So that's going to be interesting. Portland, I'll be honest, I didn't watch too much of Portland this season. And even watching them in the play-in, I was pretty impressed of what they were able to pull together. They still have a lot of young talent, even though they do have the Drew Holiday and the Jeremy Grant, and we know, and I know you guys know firsthand, Denny Advia. and how well he's developed. And I think he's a finalist for most improved player of the year. I think he's a finalist. I can't remember. And just seeing them play, like, I mean, I remember when I did watch them a little bit more heavily a couple of years ago, and the Shaden Sharps and the Scoot Hendersons, and just to kind of see them have developed into better players, and Robert Williams out there as well. They might be, they're looking like they're trying to. I mean, I know everybody knows, pretty much has the feeling that the Spurs are going to take it away, but we know the Spurs, as good as they are, they're still a young team. There's still not that much playoff experience in there. And if you think about it, the Trailblazers probably have more experience in the playoffs, just some of their players, the Drew Holidays and the Jeremy Grants and things of that sort. So, and Robert Williams when he was with the Celtics. So it's definitely going to be an interesting series. I'll be honest, I did not expect to see them down by 10 at all in a game, period. And then the Thunders and the Suns, I mean, the Suns are going to try everything they can, but just the Thunder are a well-oiled machine, you know. Unfortunately, some of these games play late, and I get sleepy kind of early now, so I don't get to always watch it. I got to look at the sped up version of it because sometimes I don't make it. On the East Side, the Pistons and the Magic. First of all, I don't think we thought the Magic would even be here, so let's go ahead and applaud them for that first, because they put BTA when they played against the Hornets. I think that was just probably some bad juju for LaMelo Ball for what he did to Bam Adebayo. They came out there and they played with them at all. And it's crazy because I believe that's the Magic team that everybody thought we would see this year. So to see them play like that late in the series, this late in the season, I guess you could still consider that the regular season was playing or whatever. And then to follow it up with a win against the Pistons. And they played dirty, they played grimy, they did whatever they needed to do. Paolo going down and getting in the paint. I mean, I just feel like he's so good when he does that. Sometimes he goes away from it, but I feel like he did that a lot. And then, of course, Desmond Bane, he was brought there to shoot. He's been shooting pretty decently well. And then Wagner probably had one of his better games that he's had. We know that they've gone through a lot of injuries as well. And then you can't forget Jalen Suggs, who was all over the goddamn place. I don't know what got into him, but he was everywhere. I think he still fouled out this game, which is still kind of crazy. But yeah, it's not I'm not too alarmed yet, but I think that if you look at the one seeds from both sides, the Pistons were probably the one seed that anybody thought could get got out besides and not the Thunder. So that's going to be an interesting series if they can keep that up and they can keep that physicality up against them. Cavs and Raptors, I don't really want to watch it anymore. I'm not even going to lie. Brandon Ingram, as well as he played this year, being an all-star, he's been MIA. I think he's had 9 shots in the first game and not that many much more in the second game. And the Cavs are they're putting it together. I mean, I think as much as we talk about James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, I think the X factor in this series is going to be between Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. And Jared Allen in the last game, they got him involved literally on the first possession of the game, and kept him involved, and Evan Mobley as well. So I don't know if they have anything that they can do to deal with that, and that it doesn't help the Raptors that Emmanuel Quickly, their starting point guard, hasn't played in either game as well. So they're already with a little bit of a makeshift with that situation. It's just not looking good. I mean, hopefully for them, they're getting ready to go back to Canada. You know, sometimes you get that home court juju and maybe they'll be able to pull out a game. And we've seen James Harden trick away games before, so let's not act like it can't happen. But I'm pretty much like, they would have to show me something immaculate for me to turn the game on, to be honest. Knicks and the Hawks have gotten very, very interesting. I think this was another series that we thought would be interesting, knowing that the Knicks, I'll say this, not the Knicks, knowing that the Hawks had a late surge within the season after the trade, and they traded away Trae Young, excuse me. And I've seen CJ McCollum do it before, so I'm not that surprised. People who probably didn't get to see a lot of CJ McCollum in his career may be surprised, not surprised at all. But the Knicks went away from what was working for them, which was they really can't do anything with Cat in the paint or Mitchell Robinson in the paint. So the fact that they went away from that, I think towards the end of the game, and there was a lot of ISO ball with Jalen Brunson, and they definitely was picking on Jalen Brunson. CJ McCullough confirmed it in his press conference as well, and don't think that they're not going to go back to that. Somebody's going to have to step up and help Jalen and get him out of harm's way, because they do have good defensive players on that side, on their team. The OG and Ananobi's, Josh Hart, even Miles Bridges is not a terrible defender as well. So that got interesting very quickly. And then the Hawks are scrappy. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, and shout out to Kuminga. Kuminga been waiting to get his get back. He felt like he was just kind of wasting away the last couple of years, maybe so, out there in Golden State, and he's making the best of what he has now. So I'm interested to see how he follows up his performance that he had as well. And then last but not least, the Celtics and the Sixers. I mean, the Celtics just put on the clinic. It was just easy. They don't have a start. The 76ers don't have a starting caliber big currently. We know Andre Drummond is a little bit long in the tooth, and Diabatu, I can't say his name, but him. He obviously it's not him either. VJ Epscombe, I think he's playing a lot better tonight in their game. They're actually up at the half. I gotta look at what the score is, and I think it actually just started, so they're up 67-56. So they're actually playing a lot better now. Yeah, they're up 67-56, and I can see the Spurs came back on the Blazers, which was expected. Celtics always kind of get in this lull, so it doesn't surprise me. A lot of people were thinking that it was going to be a sweep. Pretty much anytime the Celtics and the Sixers play, like the Celtics always kind of leave the door open, but the Sixers never fully walk through it, and the Celtics usually pull it out. It's probably a little bit more different now because Joel Embiid is not playing, and a lot of people just expect it to be a runaway. But Tyrese Maxey, we know the type player he is. Paul George started off strong in this game as well. They got the ball to him early. And in game one, Quentin Grimes, who everybody, I guess, has been raving about as somebody coming off the bench, he did nothing. I think he has at least 2 or 3 threes in this game already. So it's going to be a battle. Celtics, they do this. For whatever reason, they get lax and stuff starts to just go awry. So I still think this series will be interesting, obviously. But I obviously still think the Celtics will pull it out. But yeah, it's getting really interested in the NBA already in the playoffs.
All right, Ray, you take on this first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, outside of the Orlando game, nothing really too surprising. I think we all were in agreement that Nuggets Timberwolves is going to be the best series, and through 2 games is living up to the hype. With the Rockets, I kind of figured that game was going to go that way because with KD out, it's literally no adult in the room, so they're just out there, and it was evident. It was some sloppy play and horrible decision making on the Rockets side. So yeah, man, if he's not going to be able to go, they need to figure it out, or at least sustain till he comes back. But the Knicks, I think they're in a tricky spot because they can lose that series. They already gave up a game at home. They say the series don't start till somebody wins on the road, and that's already happened. So, they're in a dog fight. Cavs and Raptors, that might be the most uneven 4-5 matchup I've ever seen. So I expect Cleveland to handle business, man, because that core, the clock is ticking. They've been together for a couple years now. And there've been some, at times they've been pegged to kind of be one of those teams in the mix, and they haven't lived up to that yet. So I like the way they're approaching these playoffs. Adding James Harden will help. But depending on James Harden, that gets tricky around this time of year. So we're going to see how that goes. But But yeah, man, and Spurs and Blazers. Blazers they're a young, talented team, but the Spurs are a younger, more talented team. So it's going to be interesting to see them fight it out. The Spurs they were down a little bit early, but they climbed right back into this game. So it's good to see that resilience. And if the Blazers, if they can't punch back, then it's going to go the way game one went. So yeah, man, it's the first round. It's typically not a lot of surprises at this point, but as things go on and teams kind of show who they are, then the picture's going to clear up a little bit.
Yeah, a little 2 cents, like you said with the Knicks and Hawks series. Jalen Brunson, you got people looking back on Becky Hammon's comments like maybe y'all should have just respected what Becky had to say, because that's a nasty way to go out. And I don't mean to say this, I'm not disrespecting CJ McCollum in any shape, fashion, or form, but I saw some set where like his true shooting percentage when guarded by Jalen Brunson is 82%. Sir, like that's not okay. Like, there's so many of y'all that are in this place where it's okay to trade baskets. It is not. The only time that might be okay is you if you have the bigger gun. This is not one of those situations. You do not. They are looking for you and only you. That's crazy. Like, that's nuts. But like I said before the playoffs started, I'm just here for the city of New York to riot and do their thing against the Knicks per usual because sometimes that's how I know everything's right in life. The Pistons and the Magic. Shout out to the Magic for I don't know why it took all year for them to punch like the magic we've been waiting for. But shout out to Paolo for, people were just on him like within the last 2 weeks, and he turns around and gets back-to-back games. Send the Hornets home, and then see Detroit and was like, "Nah, I'm about that action too." But the thing is with Detroit, it's only one game, so we'll get to see if the Pistons, how they handle is the first seed, like Ray you mentioned. Series don't start till the opposing team wins a game on the road. Where Orlando won game one. Um, so I'm anxious to see how Detroit responds. I think they'll respond accordingly, but I do think it's interesting because Orlando's not another one of those. I think when we were talking about during the Wizards like off season recap or whatever a couple weeks ago, we were talking about some of the big behind teams in the Eastern Conference and in their division. Orlando's a really big team, just huge for no reason. And I'm with you guys on the Cavs Raptors. Like that's just call that what it is. Toronto, go finish building your team or whatever you need to do. I don't think there's any answers for you here. Celtics, Sixers, like I'm sorry, Philly. If JoJo was healthy, maybe, but even then, like I just can't trust you. Like there's a little of that hardenism there. Like I just can't. Like you got to do it so I can be like, all right, okay, you guys are serious, man. I can't go there. The Spurs and the Trailblazers. Some of the most disingenuous discussion I saw after Game One was Dalvin Clingan is a bum because he can't deal with Wemby. My brother, let me tell you, he is not alone in that. Um, like I was watching folks were just like, well, see, that's why so and so shouldn't have went that high in the draft. And that right, it's Wemby. Tell me your favorite young center. Tell me what success he's had against this young man. Yeah, Clayton's in hell, but he's not alone. Many centers have been in hell. That's not fun. There's a reason why Joker is like one of the exceptions. There's a reason, and that's Joker. Like you guys, I'm with you guys with the Nuggets and Timberwolves. Um, the Wolves talking kind of crazy. I love it. I just want to see if they can back it up. Like you got to back it up now because the words are kind of like Jay McDaniel. I love it. Just y'all got to go do it. But to that point, and again, not Jamal Murray, but it's not to the same degree as Brunson because he's bigger. But if y'all can't hold up on defense, my lord, the playoffs is not a good place to be. It's not. They're gonna just find you over and over and over. For the Rockets and the Lakers, like some nasty discussions got to take place in Houston. If the 37-year-old misses a game and y'all look at it nuts, and you lose a game where you took 30 more shots than the other team, boy, boy, some interesting discussions have to be had. And that's coach too. Like, sir, what you got going on, man? Like, did uh did the Jays over in Boston kind of like, was they covering something up, sir? Did Boston keep the right coach? Like, did you accidentally make the fumble and make the decision better for Boston? Because 1+1 is not two here. You should not lose a game where you take 30 more shots than the other team. That's disgusting. And with the Thunder themselves, man, look, it's been real Phoenix. I know you had a good year. You won more games than people expected. But yeah, OKC doesn't have time for this, man. Like, Jecto Cito, go to Cancun, enjoy your off season. It is what it is. That game one just looked unfair at times. Like, it looked like they were like twice as many Thunder players on the court when the Suns were on offense. Like, it just is what it is, man. But that's why OKC's the reigning champs, right? All right. So we will go to take it or leave it. Got some fun stuff in there for you guys there. I think last week we were talking about Dexter Lawrence when he put in his trade, right? So
Mhm.
he followed that up where he said he meant it, and everybody needs to respect it apparently. And the Bengals was like, "Ooh, Dexter Lawrence." So they traded their 2026 first round pick, 10th overall, giving the Giants the fifth and 10th picks in the first round of Thursday's first round. I take your Friday. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? So Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Thursday, first round. So the Bengals lost Trey Henderson and they replaced Trey Henderson's production with by landing or acquiring one of the best defensive tackles in the league. Um, Dexter Lawrence is amazing. He just played in New York. Like, no one's gonna know what it is that he did. But he's one of the best in the position in the league. So take it or leave it. The Giants try to become a well-functioning organization again. Both of you guys as fans of teams in the NFC East, how do you feel? How do you feel about the Giants all of a sudden making a move and ending up with two top 10 picks in this year's draft with a new coach and all this new stuff going on over there? Ray, we'll start with you, and then I say, how y'all feel about Big Blue over there now?
Um, I mean, it's cool with me. You know, it'll make for at least two more interesting games on the schedule. But no, in all seriousness, it's yeah, they, as you said, they're trying to be a functional franchise again. They made a big splash with a coaching hire, making good personnel moves. So yeah, looks like things are trending upwards. It doesn't matter if it doesn't translate to the field, but taking care of this part of it absolutely lends to that. So yeah, man, I'll take it. Dude said he ain't want to be there. All right, got him up out of there and got a good haul back. So can't ask for that more than that.
Man, to get rid of somebody who didn't want to be there and get back a top 10 pick immediately. Like, to get the 10th overall pick real quick. It's like, you don't want to be here. Cool, we don't want you here. Give me the 10th overall pick. Octavia, take it or leave it as a fellow division foe.
As a fellow division foe, I would leave it just because I want everybody else in my division to be bad. I don't care. But the non-biased of me, I mean, like you said, one of my favorite quotes from Mike Tomlin is, "We want volunteers, not hostages. If you don't want to be here, go." Now I think they're on their way to being a functional franchise. I don't know how functional they can be with Joe Shane. I just don't see it. Until that goes, they're still never going to be 100% a functional franchise to me. So that's interesting enough. But yeah, I think what will really be interesting is who they select with the 5 and the 10 uh, pick in the draft. That will really tell us what's going on. We know that John Harbaugh is a tenured coach. He's been around for a very long time, and they say he has, he reports Tamara, not Shane. So we'll see how that goes. I'm very interested to see who they pick up. So I would take it from that aspect of it. Just as another point on the other side of the trade. I feel like the Bengals are, I never know what they're doing. Like, you did. I mean, granted, I get it because I believe Dexter Lawrence is actually younger than Trey Henderson. So I get it in the age and the production of it. I mean, Trey Henderson led the league in sacks. I don't think it was last year or the year before or whatever it was. So it wasn't like it was that, but I see they got a year younger, and I think they're paying him just about the same much they were paying Trey Henderson anyway. So I get that, but I think that they're really, hopefully, again, I'm guessing, but hopefully they're really in this space where like they know they really gotta boil down and buckle to it because we saw basically the exit interview for Joe Burrow at the end of the year, and he's about fed up. He about up to here with it, and I was listening to the radio today, and they was like, "Oh man, Joe Burrow's gonna look so good in a Rams uniform in the next year or so." I was like, "Dang, I don't know, already traded my man to the Rams." Jesus Christ. But yeah, so they know that their offense is elite. Like, let's just keep it what it is. Their offense is elite when Joe Burrow is in the game. And they have the likes of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, even Chase Brown, I think is still there at the running back. I can't remember, but they're pretty good, you know. But and if they've only had comparable defense, then they may have had some opportunities to go a little bit further into the playoffs or even make the playoffs. I don't think they made the playoffs the last 2 years. And I think that they're thinking that, well, we're the only team in the division that didn't get a new coach. You know, we got a little bit of continuity and we got a little bit of an opportunity or a small window where we might be able to make a jump. So I think they're looking at it on that side. But from the Giants side, I don't want them to get too much more comparable. But it does look like they're going in that direction. And I think it worked out for both sides. Now I know that, and I say that because the Giants have been bad the last couple of years. We know that. The Bengals have been bad the last couple of years. So I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I guess Dexter Lawrence is just getting a little bit more money out of it to just be on a bad team. But hopefully for him and his sake that it does, and it does get increased and it gets a little bit better. Because let's be real. The Bengals have always had an opportunity to be a really good team. They just had some bad luck. Their franchise is usually very stingy with giving money. So that's a plus in itself. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I'll take it for the Giants. The only reason I'm not like fully taking it for the Bengals is like I know they gave Dex an extension. It's 1 year, 28 million. He has to be traded with 2 years left on his deal. Y'all know he's gonna want more money, right? And y'all are notoriously known for not giving people money. So are we about to be right back here with the Trey Henderson thing in 2 years with Dex? And I tell you, I'm with you. Like if the Giants hit on pick 5 and 10 on Thursday, or it looks like they hit, they're not gonna care at all about this because unlike the Bengals, they don't play in the AFC. They play in the NFC. Losing Dex is gonna hurt, but they don't got to see some of them killers that's over there. That is not their problem unless they accidentally make it to that game, and you shouldn't have to worry about that too soon. All right. Also, to another topic that was discussed last week. This time we're on this side of it. Mr. Mike Vrabel addressed the public for the first time since the photos of him and Rossini were shared. He said he had conversations that were positive and productive with Patriots players when they reported for voluntary workouts Monday. Today is when he addressed the media. He said, I've had some difficult conversations with people I care about, my family, the organization, the coaches, the players. Those have been positive and productive. We believe in order to be successful on and off the field, you have to make good decisions. That includes me. That starts with me. We never want our actions to negatively affect the team. We never want to be the cause of a distraction. There are comments and questions that I've answered for the team and with the team. We'll keep those private. All right. So the reigning NFL Coach of the Year said he also addressed the situation with Patriots owners, plan to keep the nature of those conversations private as well. An NFL spokesperson told ESPN last week that the league is not reviewing Vrabel's behavior under his personal conduct policy. Take it or leave it. Was this enough for you guys from Vrabel? Xavier, we'll start with you and then Ray.
Yeah, he could have kept all of that. He ain't say nothing. Just like Diana Rossini's statement ain't say nothing, he ain't say nothing. I think that it was very PC, very political, very, I just have to say something because I can't hide from the media forever, even though I've done it for the last couple of weeks, but I can't hide too much longer. So let me just go out here and say this. To say that, we preach to, make sure you're a good person, and nobody should be, disruptive to what we got going on. I don't really feel like he owned it, including me. Like, I put myself in a bad situation. Like, say that. Like, just like any other time a player would have to come out there and say, like, I put myself in a bad situation. I shouldn't have been here. I should have been there. I shouldn't whatever. I just felt like it was very blah. Like, he could have kept all of that. He could have released a statement. Now, granted, he can't release a statement like Diana Rossini because, of course, he has to be up here, and Diana doesn't really have to be up there like that. But still, like, I don't really feel like he said anything of anything. And I mean, I don't know what Robert Kraft could really say to him in his own situations that he's had in his past. It just seems like it's going to get swept under the rug. NFL's not investigating it, which it's not really a surprise because I feel like they should at least investigate it. I'm not saying that it needs to have some type of outcome or fruition because it still shows a NFL head coach, and I forgot that he was actually the reigning coach of the year. I forgot about that. But it shows the reigning coach of the year who could be possibly having inappropriate conversations with somebody in the media. Like, to me, that's a big deal. So not saying that they were like, even if they were like, not saying that they were doing it to trade secrets or anything like that. Maybe they really are in love or whatever the situation is. And if you come to that, okay, cool. Like, you can't stop two grown adults from being together. But if there was inappropriate information shared, inappropriate stuff like that, like, I feel like that deserves to be investigated. But it's the NFL again, reigning coach of the year, so that does not surprise me. But yeah, he could have kept all that because he didn't really say nothing. I didn't see the whole press conference. I only saw clips of it, so I don't even know if he took questions in regards to it at all. I would assume he didn't, just based off of the statement that he made. Like, it just seemed like he just wanted to make a statement and say, like, I don't want to talk about it no more.
Raise your thoughts on Vrabel's first public comments on the alleged misdoings.
Yeah, I really don't care, man. It was the obligatory PR response. Like, nothing's gonna happen. We know that. So let's just move on with our lives. Yeah, this is just a dog and pony show. Like, I have no feelings whatsoever.
All right, on to another NFL team. Heavy NFL team taking a lead with the draft being this week. Justin Fields. I wanted to come here because of his culture, because of Pat, and to learn from him and Coach Reed. Just the winning, to be honest. We, of course, knew of each other, but we really didn't communicate before coming here. I'm excited to learn from Mahomes. I'm already kind of picking his brain a little bit and observing how he goes about things in the meeting rooms, field, and stuff like that. I'm excited, of course, to work with Coach Reed and offense coordinator Bieniemy and all the guys on offense. Coach Reed said that Fields will work to learn the offense as a quarterback and not as a gadget player to be used occasionally. I appreciate Justin and the way he's gone about everything so far. He's been great with everything. He's a legitimate quarterback, a starting quarterback in the NFL. We're lucky enough to have him here. If that's the role that he plays early in the season, we have full confidence that he can do a great job with that. Take it or leave it that this may be what Fields needs, similar to Sam Darnold's time in the Bay before he got to Minnesota. Ray, we'll start with you. Justin is over there in the Kansas City cocoon with Pat Mahomes and Big Red.
I mean, it definitely can't hurt. You getting to learn behind those two guys, and you're in a franchise that has been successful. Those type of environments usually breed good players if they got some talent. So, if he just takes advantage of everything in front of him, then yeah, this could definitely be a positive for him.
Octavia?
Yeah, definitely take it. He's been in some tough situations since he's come into the league. Jets, Steelers, Bears. And I think this is probably the first comparable franchise that he's been a part of. And then, like he said, is the right things to say. And I think Justin Fields has always said the right things. I think that even through all of the stuff that he's been through, he's been a consummate professional. You know, he's been vulnerable. He told us he's cried and all the things. Like, he's been a professional. And I think it's a great thing that he gets the opportunity to sit behind a Patrick Mahomes and to learn from him. And not just, like you said, Patrick Mahomes, Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid, and even some of the veteran players out there that have, granted, they're not, quarterbacks or anything like that, but, they have a lot of veteran presence out there as well. And like Ray said, it can't hurt. I think this is really going to show us if he's really a caliber of a starting caliber quarterback in the league. And he's going to get his opportunities because we know Pat is out with the ACL for at least a little bit. I think he's aiming to start at the beginning of the season, but who knows? I don't think we've heard much of how his rehab is going. But I think it's great for him. I hope it works out for him. Like I said, I like players who legitimately have been in bad situations and just haven't gotten a good shake. And even in those bad situations, haven't been horrible. You know what I mean? I feel like, yeah, he's had some bad games. He has, don't get me wrong, he has some bad games. I think he had one of the franchise worst games in the Jets history or something like that. But he's still a relatively young player, and we've seen the redemption arc of a lot of these quarterbacks in the last couple of years. So hopefully, for his sake, as long as he don't come to NFC East any type of way, it works out for him. So I'm wishing him the best. I hope it works out, but I think he couldn't have landed in a better situation. And I think him being smart enough to take that, knowing what he's been going through, I'm sure that there is some trash team out there that would have taken him, and he wouldn't have learned anything. I kind of liken it a little bit to, it's not apples for apples, but the whole Shador Sanders situation when he had the opportunity to go to Baltimore and sit behind Lamar, or he had the opportunity to go to Philly and sit behind Jalen, or I think there was another team, and not really taking that opportunity. We might see how that works out for him. And now it seems like Justin is doing the opposite now that he has the opportunity to make a better decision. So I'm hoping it works out for him.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. It's never a bad thing to go learn and spend some time in a room with one of the brightest offensive minds in the league. It definitely can't hurt. And we've seen Andy kind of do this rehab thing over, he did it a lot when he was in Philadelphia. He had a whole lot of different quarterbacks with different talent levels, and he got some dudes who shouldn't have been out there paid in places. And we're gonna be mature today, so we're gonna name any of those people, and we're gonna move on to rapid fire. All right, in rapid fire, see where we're gonna start at. This should be okay. Maybe we'll get two rapid fires in before the bell. The Warriors season comes to an end. Draymond Green predicted Steve Kerr's tenure with the Golden State Warriors could be at its end 3 days after the longtime coach acknowledged this might have been his last season with the team. I hope he's our coach next season, Green said on his podcast. You want my opinion? I think not, just because it feels like that. It felt like that was it. After the Warriors were eliminated, late Friday night in Phoenix, Kerr brought Green and star guard Stephen Curry together for a moment on the sideline to conclude their 12th season together. Microphones caught Curry telling the two, "I don't know what's going to happen next, but I love you guys to death. Thank you." Ray, we'll start with you again. Just your thoughts on this. Just like you said, it's not taking a leave it, so wherever you want to go, the floor is yours.
Oh, it needs to be over, man. You had a good run. Steve Kerr's getting up there in age. Why you want to work this hard, man? Just go home, man. Steph pushing 40, Draymond pushing 40. He's virtually useless. He had a good 3-minute defensive stretch against Kawhi, and people seem to forget that he's washed. But just go home, man. You put your work in. You put your work in, man. Go home and be a family man. It's okay.
I knew where you were possibly going to take this, and yet I still wasn't ready for it. My take.
Nah, yeah, it's over. I feel like it's been so long. Like there have been so many other entities of different teams that have still like kind of woven in between the time that they've still been there. Yeah, I think it's time to hang it up. Like you said, both of them are pushing 40. I mean, she's after the loss, Steph was like, take me to Coachella. I need to relax. My man went to Coachella the next day, out there trying to have a good time. I don't blame him. But yeah, wasn't it earlier this season? The GM was sending emails to people talking about we was gonna get it together. That the writing's been on the wall for the whole year. You know, he's probably excited that they didn't win the play-in, so they have an excuse to be able to get it done. So it was a great run. And I don't want them to continuously try to run it into the ground because I feel like you kind of taint the legacy because it's like the last thing I remember is I lost in the play-in 12 times after y'all did everything that y'all have done. It's definitely time to go in a new direction. It's time to get younger, like get younger. Because again, you got Steph, you got Draymond, you got old man out there. Yeah, old man Kristaps Porzingis who can't stay healthy as well. You shipped out a lot of young talent. We just talked about Jonathan Kuminga earlier. Moses Moody got hurt. Don't waste Podemski. I mean, he's a pretty decent younger player. They got to do something new. So, like Wilson says, ejectocito. Let's just give them their. I don't know. Make them a little. I don't know if they get a statue outside or not, but do something and just have a good one. I think I read something earlier today where they were like, should Steph leave to try to chase one more ring? Like, sir, do something. Yeah, but it's over. I don't even think I watch Golden State games like that anymore because it's so sad to watch.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna go as hard as Ray and you went with that Octavia, but yeah, man. If I was Steph, um, I know a place where depending on how stuff ends, and even regardless of how stuff ends, there's some young talent that would be. It looked like you got a haul, and they probably wouldn't be missing it. So, out Steph, I text my old friend, see what it looks like to spend your twilight years together, maybe in Texas, and call it a day. I go to Houston and I leave the other guy behind. You spend enough time with that man there, Uh, y'all can go your separate ways too. Everybody remember it for what it was. And Houston got a whole lot of young talent to send your way because clearly Golden State struggles with drafting it. So,
Now they do. I don't know what's going on.
that's what I would do. Here's a Alfie, here's a whoever. That's just me. But no, it's a wrap, man. Steve looked like he was done with it like at the beginning of the year. Like I thought he was done last year, honestly, and this year just made it even more so. But final question before we get out of here. This is kind of a little bonus. Whichever one of you guys want to go first. Just NFL draft Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What do you want to see your teams do? We're finally at the end of the like. I kept this question because mock drafts are crazy and people go nuts because they think like mock drafts mean anything in life. So just what would you like to see your teams do come this weekend where you'd be like, you know what, I'll at least care enough to watch, or you didn't embarrass me. Like that's the scale. You didn't embarrass me. Damn it, not again. Or yeah, I can't wait. So what do you guys need your teams to do? Whichever one you guys want to go first, please go.
Uh, I'll get it over with. I hope we draft a wide receiver. Because when I tell you I am over it, I am over it. I don't want to hear the two letters put together at the same time anymore. Like at all. Like I don't want to hear no more. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of it. So let's draft the wide receiver. If we feel like the ones that they picked up in the offseason aren't going to be enough, even though we picked up a hell of a lot of them. It's been a lot. of wide receivers that have entered into the Philadelphia Eagles franchise this past offseason. To be fair, there's nothing like crazy that I want us to do. I would love a good linebacker because we lost a good linebacker. And probably somebody that can rush. Like I feel like I'm more so looking at defense and outside of defense, the offensive line, because the offensive line is getting a little bit long in the tooth. I know Lane is coming back. And they've been a lot injured, and I won't say long in the tooth. I think Lane is probably the only one that's really old. You got Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson, and we know Jordan Mailata is just a beast, but definitely somebody that's gonna take Lane Johnson's position, as he's probably the next to go. It's probably the biggest thing I'm looking for, but I'm really at the point where like best available. Like we need dynamic talent in there. But I definitely think offensive line, especially knowing that we lost the offensive guru coach. So we're gonna need somebody that's just gonna be able to come in and know what they're doing. And have some depth, because once one of those people get injured during the season, it'd be a whole different ball game. And we saw how bad that was last year with Saquon, and a lot of the offensive line came out after the year and talked about how injured they were for the entire year. Yeah, but I hope I don't know how I feel about Sean Mannion yet. If he has any say so on what he won't, because I don't really know if I trust him yet. He did by toe in the water a little bit with him. But yeah, I'm hopeful. But I think I feel like just for the hell of it, we should just draft a wide receiver so people know that we done with it too.
those two letters being A and J.
Yeah,
for anybody. She
just
was
trade up in the draft. We don't, go get Carnell Tate, go get what's the dude the one from Iowa? I can't think of his name. Go get one of them so people be like, oh, they really don't care. So yeah, because I'm over it. Sorry.
Right. Do you have any AJ like feelings for your team?
Hey, we don't say those two letters together anymore.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I have them for the owner.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
But I mean, since he's not going anywhere, they just need to go defense heavy. And
Y'all are straight on.
that's just been the Achilles heel for the past 2-3 seasons. So yeah, they need to shore up the defense. That's all. And I know since I said that out loud, they're going to do the exact opposite. So whatever, man.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I guess I'll be the slight optimist here. Just add people. It's 6 picks. You got a 1, a 2, and 4 fours. You can trade down and make it 8 picks, 10 picks. I don't care. Just add people. My team had a very boring, productive offseason. You don't have to reach or go crazy for anything.
Yeah.
If something pops up that shouldn't be there, put it in the bag. That's it. That's it. It's like, oh, a piece of candy. Take the piece of candy. It has to be a defensive end, wide receiver, a tight end, but not. I would an edge, a tight end, and a wide receiver. After that, I don't really care. I don't care what order it is. It doesn't really matter. It's the Niners. Some group of people are going to get hurt, so you'll have a chance to play. That's just how things work. Nobody makes it through the year healthy. I don't know what Christian did last year for him to make it through. Apparently, it cost everybody else to die. So if things go back to normal, Christian won't make it through the year, and everybody else will. So we'll see who's up next on who gets snaps this year. But yeah, I look forward to the draft. Unbothered this year for the first time. Last year was crazy because it was like, oh, you have to get stuff because it's that bad. It's dark outside. There's nothing good there. Need starters. This year is like, all right, cool. I like you to not whiff on 106, but hit on some picks, man. Please. Please, that's all I ask. Well, appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great week. When we get back next week, we'll be talking. Obviously, our tech will be going over to NFC East and what those all fine folks over there, all 4 teams did in their respective drafts. I can't wait to see how the 2 of you feel.
Take Jeremiah Love as long as they don't do that.
You said what?
As long as the Commanders do not take Jeremiah Love, because I don't want those problems either.
Oh, because yeah, they got 7. Like that's crazy. Because you got to sit there and watch.
Let him go. I think let him go to the Titans. Let's worry about keep mocking him to just.
You got two
Yeah,
good teams in your division got 2 first-round picks.
too many of them.
Yeah, you got to thug it out, Ray.
Just because they
I,
sucked last year.
I'm not gonna say Rays. I'm gonna say Jerry's group has 2. I respect Jerry's group has 2, and New York has 2. So we'll see how things shake out. Appreciate y'all as always. We'll check with y'all next week, same time.